second, I'ma build a skyscraper rise. Digits flipping on the screen, Wall Street in disguise. Freedom in my pocket, dividends on the climb. Portfolio popping, every dollar multiplies. Buy low, sell high, that's the battle cry. Green arrows pointing up, touching the sky. Money moves, cash rules, we invest in. Freedom tunes, no change, just progression. Money moves, yeah, we keep it flexing. Freedom's the vibe, we ain't second guessing. Charts looking spicy, candlesticks be lit. Crypto on a rocket, but I'm hedging with wit. Options on the table, risks like roulette spins. Freedom ain't a gamble, it's a mindset win. Buy low, sell high, that's the battle cry. Green arrows pointing up, touching the sky. Money moves, cash grooves, we invest in. Freedom tunes, no change, just progression. Money moves, yeah, we keep it flexing. Freedom's the vibe, we ain't second guessing.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I've got one headline. It's a biggie. It's about Microsoft getting hacked. Other than that, I've got no headlines today, so we'll be taking a look at some assets. As Eric Wallen said, there's some alt season indicators that have been flashing. So we'll definitely take a look at some alts. I agree with his sentiment of I'm already selling some. I'm not bag holding alts. So, we might not get all of them that pump at once, but we definitely will start getting some of these alts that will start pumping. And if you've been holding the bag for a while, you might want to start looking at some exit points. So we will get to that in just a second. But, like always, I got that stock heat map pulled up for you. So let's dive on in, get you prepped for some success today. we are seeing a little bit of green in the markets and a little bit of red in the markets. So we've got Apple sitting up 0.55% from its close, sitting up 0.34% this morning. We've got Nvidia down 0.34% for its close and up 0.24% this morning. Berkshire Hathaway sitting in that neutral range from its close, up 0.08, looking up 0.36 this morning. We've got Amazon up 1.01% from its close, looking up 0.43% this morning. We've got Eli Lilly up 1.34% off of its close and up 0.36 this morning. ExxonMobil down 3.48% off of its close, looking a little bit green this morning, up 0.38%. Tesla sitting up 1.42% this morning. Might have to take a look at that one. There was a little bit of news this weekend on that Musk and Trump news, so we will kind of have to save that one for a little bit later. I really wanted to touch on that Microsoft hack. We got P&G sitting down 0.33% off of its close, looking towards the upside this morning, up 0.3%. We've got Microsoft, not surprisingly, down 0.32% and down 0.12% this morning off of a little bit of that hack news. We've got Google sitting up 0.67% and up 0.81% this morning. And we've got Meta to wrap that on out, up 0.41% and up 0.58 this morning. Let's hop over to the crypto side of things. We're looking extremely green over there. Got a few outliers like Tron over here and Leo sitting a little bit down, but not too unexpected on Leo when you've got most of your market sitting green here. You've got Bitcoin up 0.4%, you've got Ethereum up 1.4%, you've got XRP sitting up 1.1%, BNB up 1.5%, you've got Solana up 5.8%, Doge sitting up 6.8%, Cardano up 3.3%, Tron, that one outlier, sitting down 2% right now. Hyperliquid up 2.7%. You've got Stellar Lumens up 2.1%. Sui sitting up 0.2%. You've got Chainlink up 0.1%. HBAR sitting up 2.3%. You've got Avalanche up 2.4%. Bitcoin Cash holding that spot from Shiba Inu up 0.4%. Shiba Inu taking that spot from Litecoin in that market cap, sitting at number 18 and up 2.4%, while Litecoin sitting up 0.6% and Leo token sliding all the way back down to number 20 in the market cap. For the fear and greeds this morning, we're looking a little bit greedy on the stock side of things. We've been sitting at 75 for a while now. I'm just waiting to hit that extreme greed on the stock side. Might need a little bit of some hopium news that sends us to that extreme greed. We do have the crypto side of things down a point, still sitting in some light greed. We'll kind of have to see if we can turn some key areas into some support, some of those key areas we were talking about last week. We do have our liquidation heat map sitting with a little bit of liquidity directly above us. Try to go up there and grab it this morning. Failed to do so. We've got that sitting at about 119,800. Zoom this on out. Take a look at that 3-day. See where any explosive moves might take us. And that's where we're looking quite bare. Zoom this on out a little bit further, taking a look at that 1 week, you can kind of see we've grabbed liquidity on both sides of us, and you've got just a little bit of a hot spot sitting up here back at that 121,500. We'll kind of have to see if we keep moving a little bit sideways, cool off some of those higher term time frame oscillators, and then see if we can grab some of that more bottom side liquidity that's sitting down here at this $115,000 range and comes all the way down to $112,000. We do have an area in between those levels that I've been talking about for quite a while, so we will get to that in just a second. We do have this economic calendar that we need to take a look at this morning, because we do get a little bit of some data a little later in the week. This Monday will be quite boring for data. You scrolled on down just a little bit further though, 8:30 tomorrow morning, Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking. So that's going to be the big market mover for the beginning of the week, and we'll keep our eyes on that. This Monday, we are getting no heavy data, so let's hop over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to everyone in the chat so far. We got Jesse Gluck first in here. Good morning to you, sir. We've got Crypto Billy in the chat. Good morning, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. We got Jay Violet in here. Good evening to Australia, madam. We've got Eric Wallen in here. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Let's see who else we got in here. Scrolling on down. Crypto Billy says funny. It plays on my phone, but not my TV. I guess the music just doesn't work on the TV for some reason. I know a few people were enjoying it. We got Eric Wallen saying that last AI song was a banger. Yeah, that one was called Money Moves. And here kind of soon, I'm going to just make a whole playlist on my YouTube channel. And I'll drop all my music there. So it'll be free to use for anyone that wants to use it. We got Kyle Fields in here. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. We got K Diggity sliding in here this morning. Good morning to you, sir. We've also got 12 people over on X. Good morning to all of you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's take a look at this Bitcoin chart. We've got it pulled up on the daily. You can kind of see we're doing a little bit of some sideways action. When you take a look at these higher term time frames, we are seeing a little bit of resistance at that $120,000 mark as we're trying to start cooling off these oscillators. You've got your MACD running quite sideways here, trying really hard to hold up above the top side of our indicator line, but as our money flow starts slowing down just a little bit and your volume's holding steady, it's looking like maybe a little bit of some selling pressure might be heading our way. We've got some overbought signals that have flashed, a reversal signal as well, and that prime oscillator is trying to cool off as well. So we'll kind of have to keep our eyes on that price point we were talking about last week, and that's at 118,200 area. Take a look at this 4 hour, see what we're looking at, and you can kind of see we're looking a little bit toppy here as well. As you're trying to break above our zero line with the MACD, you've got your MACD and your indicator line running quite sideways here. You do have some nice small green candles here, but your money flows dipping in the red as we're starting to print those green candles. So might be looking at another lower high here and seeing if we can at least clear out this area down here, and that's that 115,800 all the way down to about 1307, so 13,700, and that's gonna be a fair value gap and a CME gap that have yet to be filled, and we're kind of looking to clear out some liquidity if we come down to that move. If we are unable to hold that 18,200 area, we do have a little bit of a bouncing zone, which we bounced off last time. That's going to be that 15,800 price point. That's where we got a little bit of some bouncing action last time. We'll kind of have to see if that same thing happens if we don't hold 18,200. Let's zoom this on in. Take a look at that hourly. Hourly also looking quite toppy here as we're making some lower highs on our prime oscillator. Got a secondary reversal signal flashing as your money flow starts going towards that zero line here. You've got that curvature on your prime oscillator and your MACD as your volume's starting to pick back up just a little bit, looking like you might start seeing some selling pressure coming on in this morning. You do have some areas down here where you could start to see a little bouncing action below our 18,200. That's going to be that 17,200 area where you might see a little bit of a bounce back up towards that 18.2 before you really continue on our way to the downside and our fair value gap. gap there. Taking a look at the 15-minute and the morning, that's where you're seeing that potential for a little bit of some bouncing action around that 18,200 to about 17,200 that I was talking about. You do see your prime oscillator getting a little bit low here as your volume's trying to hold steady, but that money flow looks like it's continuing to come out here. Your True 7 hasn't clipped out yet, but might be heading that way sometime a little bit here later this morning. That might cause for a little bit of bouncing action. We do have our VWAP, which is sitting directly below us as well, starting to get a little bit of curvature back to the downside, just like our MACD and our prime oscillator. You're getting a little bit of sideways momentum here on the MACD, but really waiting to see that money flow start coming on in here as our volume's trying to hold steady. So we'll kind of keep our eyes out for the morning, see if we get that bounce around that 18.2 to about 17.2. Those are those areas I'd kind of watch for a little bit of some price holding up before we try to make our way back down towards this fair value gap and CME gap to try to grab out some of that liquidity. I see Crypto Coin Mindset in here. You're up extremely early this morning, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. It's never too early for liquidity. It is never too early for liquidity. It's just kind of low volume for a liquidity grab right now. We'll kind of have to see if we can get that push towards the downside. We do have a little bit that's sitting on the top side of our fair value gap and a little bit sitting down below our fair value gap as well. So if we do get that move towards the bottom side of our fair value gap, might look at that price holding up at about that 112,000, coming in a little bit shy of that 11,800. Let's see. Crypto Coin Mindset said he never slept. Sir, that is a recipe for disaster. Don't pull a Joe. I hope you're at your show a little bit later today. But liquidity grab, yikes, watch out. Yeah, that would be a rough one too, because there's quite a bit of liquidity sitting under this fair value gap. We'll kind of have to keep our eyes out. I would take this level by level, see if we can hold up the top side. There's a little bit of liquidity towards the top side, get a little bouncing action before we really make our way back into that. Let's hop over to that news article for the morning, because this was a biggie. Global hack on Microsoft products hits U.S. state agencies, researcher says. Let's scroll it on down. We got hackers exploit a major security flaw in a widely used Microsoft server software to launch a global attack on government agencies and businesses in the past few days, breaching U.S. federal and state agencies, universities, energy company, and an Asian telecommunications company, according to state officials and private researchers. The U.S. government and partners in Canada and Australia are investigating the compromise of SharePoint servers, which provide a platform for sharing and managing documents. Tens of thousands of such servers are at risk, experts said, and Microsoft issued no patch for the flaw, leaving victims around the world scrambling to respond. The zero-day attack, so called because it targeted a previously unknown vulnerability, is one of the latest cybersecurity embarrassments for Microsoft. Last year, the company was faulted by a panel of U.S. government and industry experts for a lapse that enabled a 2023 targeted Chinese hack of U.S. government emails, including those of then Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. The most recent attack compromises only those servers housed within an organization, not those in the cloud, such as Microsoft 365, officials said, after first suggesting that users make modifications to or simply unplug SharePoint server programs from the internet. The company on Sunday evening released a patch for one version of the software. Two other versions remain vulnerable, and Microsoft said it's continuing to work to develop a patch. The company declined to comment further. We will keep our eyes on this one going forward, because this is one of the biggest producers of software in both the US and several other countries. So quite a big one to keep your eyes on, especially since you might see some ransom being held for some of this information, considering that you targeted federal governments, you targeted state governments, and some big corporations. So I will continue to talk about that one as it goes further. We got ADA over 90 cents, says Ada Ace. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. I guess we gotta take a look at some Ada this morning. Let's see, we got any other alt requests that you would like me to take a look at this morning? I can take a look at quite a few assets this morning. We've got time being 5:02, and I got almost 25 minutes. Might need to take a look at some gold as well. We've got Jasmine requested. We can take a look at that one as well. Go ahead, drop them in the chat. If we got anyone on X that wants something looked at, go ahead, drop that in the chat as well. I should be able to take a look at those. So we got Ada and Jasmine requested. Let's take a look at some gold real quick, because it's right back to some key levels I've talked about before, where we start seeing a little bit of resistance. This time, it looks like we're getting a little bit of bouncing action on that price point, but it's doing so with some very toppy indicators. You've got your MACD moving a little bit sideways here, waiting to see if this money flow can go back into the green as your volume's starting to pick back up. So we'll kind of have to see if this bounce is that bounce that gets us up to $3,403. We've talked about that price point on gold for quite a while now, and it's been a little while since we've been at that. It's been since June. So waiting to see if we can get that push back up towards that $3,403 price point. Just waiting to see if that money flow starts coming back in, as we're starting to get a little bit of curvature on the prime oscillator, but you do have those overbought signals flashing and some reversal signals flashing on the hourly. Zoom that on out, take a look at that daily, and this is where you really see that potential for some bouncing action all the way up to that 3,400. You've got your money flow really trying to get back in towards the green here as your prime oscillator's heading back up and your volume starting to pick back up too. That MACD getting that break above our indicator line with some strong curvature back towards the upside. We have been making some higher lows on the macro, and we're really waiting to see if we can get that push back up to 3,403 here, where we started seeing some resistance from back here. We saw it again confirmed here, and then we'll kind of have to see if we can get back up to $3,430. That's that next little target for gold that I have. And then if we can make that an area of support, we've got 3,000, almost 500 coming on in. This is where we get those very equal wicks on that hourly. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get all the way back up there, but we got a few points to hit before we can get back up there. Let's see, we got AIXBT requested as well. AIXBT, we can take a look at that one as well. I don't know what exchange. I see you say the base network, but I'm not sure what exchange you'd like me to take a look at that on, Jesse. We'll probably go with Coinbase there, so we can definitely take a look at that one there. Not seeing any requests from X, but let me get that stream pulled up in the background, see if we got any requests on there. Not seeing any chats on it, so any other alt requests, go ahead and throw them in the chat for me. We will take a look at those. Dang, apparently your little altcoin be ripping towards the upside, Jesse. We got a Pengu that we talked about last week, wanting to see it at least hold that 1618 before it gets that move to 2618, and that's pretty much exactly what it did after a little bit of sideways momentum to really cool off those oscillators. Let's get this pulled up to the 4-hour and get over to ADA, because yeah, we might have to take a look at Pengu later. That was quite the move towards the upside, but ADA also getting that move towards the upside. We talked about that 88-cent target for ADA, and that's exactly what we got up to. Starting to see a little bit of some resistance at that price point, but you've got your prime oscillator and your MACD both looking like they could continue running towards the upside if you can get a little bit of money flow coming on in here to really buy things up. You got that strong bouncing action off at 80 cents. We said that was an area we were looking for some bouncing action off of once we had got above it, and that's pretty much exactly what happened. We got up to 88 cents, and then we started to see a little bit of some resistance here. 4-hour has a little bit more room to run as your volume is a little bit low here, and you're seeing a little bit of some selling pressure stepping on in, but could definitely see that run a little bit more if you have that positive money flow. That one day was where we're seeing a little bit of some continuation could happen with your volume being extremely high, your prime oscillator already getting that sideways momentum here, and your MACD continuing to stay above our indicator line and still pointing towards the upside. We'll take a look at this 1 hour, see what we're looking at there, getting a little bit of a pull back below that 88-cent point as your MACD is getting that rollover, your prime oscillator getting that rollover. Secondary reversal signal has flashed as your volume's trying to hold quite steady here. So we'll kind of have to see if we make that move back to about 84 cents to see a little bit of some bouncing action. That's where we got all of price holding up here before we got that strong dip back to 80 cents. We got a little bit of some bouncing action off of that price point there as well. So that's that short-term bounce area I would really look for. If you can't hold up 84 cents, looking all the way back down to about 80 cents would be that move I would watch for on ADA. We'll kind of have to see what this 15-minute and the morning are bringing our way here. Looking like you might see a little bit of some continuation towards the downside after this nice strong candle rejection off of that 88-cent price point. We got that nice strong sweep above it before we really pulled back below it, seeing that little bit of a red candle start to print this morning as we're getting that rollover of our prime oscillator and MACD as well. Volume holding quite steady, so looking like you're seeing a little bit of some selling pressure stepping on in this morning. Nothing too unexpected after you get that strong move all the way down below our golden pocket here, which these are the price points we were talking about way back at the beginning of the year. No, way back at the beginning of the month. Seeing us get above 76 cents was that first little target. We've made quite the run for ADA, so seeing a little bit of some sell-off happen would not be too unexpected as some people try to take a little bit of some profits and then maybe try to buy back in about that 80-cent point. We will kind of keep our eyes on that one going forward in the rest of the week. Let's see, we had Jasmine requested. I don't think that one's on my list anywhere, so Jasmine, I guess it was on my list. We got Jasmine here. It's been quite a while since I've taken a look at some Jasmine. Looking like it's holding up our platinum pocket there. Finally, it's been quite a while since Jasmine was above our platinum pocket. Let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at this daily. See what we're looking at there. Seeing a little bit of possibility for continuation if we can get that money flow continuing to come in here. We got Donato Cabrera in the chat this morning. Good morning to you. We've got let's see who else. We've got Lasers Go Pew Pew in here. Good morning. And Z Gaming, Cyto Network on Ethereum. We can take a look at that one as well. I'll take a look at that one last because it'll be a naked chart because I've never taken a look at Cyto. So give me just a second to get through AI, XBT, and Jasmine, and then we'll take a look at that one. We've also got some time for a few other alts as well because it's only 5:11 my time. We got about 20 more minutes before we head over towards that morning motivational video. Seeing Jasmine finally making some moves back above our platinum pocket here. Got that nice strong little bouncing action off of the platinum pocket there on the daily. Waiting to see if we can really get above this resistance area at 0.21358 before we can get our next move back up towards our golden pocket. You do have a little bit of resistance above that as well. That would keep my eye on. Let me get those horizontal rays drawn out because it's been so long since I've looking at Jasmine. This is going to be that second price point I would kind of look for. Let me make those a little bit bigger so you can kind of see them being a stronger resistance area for a higher term time frame. There's going to be those 2 price points I would kind of watch for a little bit of resistance coming on in on Jasmine if we can get that continuation on the daily as your volume starting to hold quite steady, quite high here. You've got your prime oscillator getting that curvature back up, your MACD maintaining above our indicator line, starting to get that next wave up on our candles here on the histogram. So we'll just kind of have to keep our eye on some money flow. Let's see, pump, that's a token, BC. Oh, pump. Oh, I can definitely take a look at that one as well. Didn't know that was a token. There's so many different tokens out there, and you never really know. Somewhat like the other week when Jesse was asking for Pengu. There's just always some brand new token out there with a funny name. Would not have expected Pump to be a token. So let's take a look at this 4 hour on Jasmine, see what we're looking at here. We have that resistance area above us that we could potentially get up to. I would like to see a little cool off here on the oscillators before we really get that stronger move back towards the upside, though. You have a little bit of a support area directly below us that we could potentially bounce on. All the highs from back here, and you saw a little bit of resistance at that area as well. Let's get that as a smaller line so you can see that's our short-term little bounce area, as our 4 hour is a little bit toppy here, getting that rollover of our prime oscillator from green to red as we're seeing those overbought signals flashing. They've been flashing the whole move up, but you've had a very, very strong volume, and your volume has just started to kind of slow back down now. So we'll kind of have to see if that slowdown of volume comes with a little bit of some selling pressure. See that strong bounce on 0.18108, and then try to make our move back up towards our golden pocket. See if that 0.21474 comes into play. DGen's calling for 5 cents. Is that on Pump or is that on Jasmine? Let me know. We've got this 15-minute and the morning looking like it's trying to see a little bit of some cool off as well. We're trying to maintain some of the lows from here above that strong area that we have drawn out right below that. Seeing the highs come in very equally at that 0.2022. That's that area that we're struggling to get above for now. He's saying pump to 5 cents. We'll kind of take a look at that one here in a second. Jasmine looking like we could see a little bit of some cool off on multiple time frames here. You have that bearish divergence that is yet to play out, so that'd be that move I would kind of watch for to kind of push price back down towards that 0.181 before we see that stronger bouncing action. 15-minute still looking a little bit overheated and trying to cool on down as your volume's just starting to come back in. You're bumping up against some short-term resistance here. Let's see, that was Jasmine. We have AIXBT. Let me get that one pulled up. AIXBT. Coinbase. I'm pretty sure that's what nope. That is not what we had looked at it on. AIXBT. Is it on the Binance one? Yes, it was on Binance. There we go. Let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at this 4-hour here. Seeing us come up against an area of resistance all over again. Waiting to see if we can get above it so we can try to get up to that 22-cent price point. You are seeing us still below our 236 here. Waiting to really see us get above our resistance area. You've got your MACD trying to break and hold above our indicator line, but seeing a little bit of sideways momentum coming in here. Your prime oscillator also getting a little bit of curvature, and you've got your money flow sitting barely in the green here. So looking like you're seeing a little bit of resistance directly above us. We're trying to consolidate just a little bit here. You can kind of see we're restricting quite nicely. Let me get that drawn up from the bottom side. Wrong one. Let me get that drawn up from the bottom side there. We've got this restricting area. If it would draw, I don't know what's going on there. There we go. Restricting area of support and resistance, trying to make that move back above the top side of it, as we're seeing those very equal candle bodies off of both that resistance area and our support area as well. Might see that nice little move back down towards our support before we get that stronger move back above. This is a very restricted area. If you do see that money flow kind of dipping into the red on that shorter term time frame, let's get that locked. Zooming on in, take a look at that 15-minute in the morning. Looking like you might continue to see that bouncing action off of support as we try to cool off those oscillators there. I would really watch that money flow. That's where I'd kind of see if we can see that money flow coming back in at support and get that stronger move in as we get above that resistance area. Try to make that bounce off of top side resistance and then make our move back up to 22,189. That's that upside target I've been talking about on AIXBT. We're still waiting to kind of get there. Our money flow has been quite low, and we've just been bouncing around between our support and resistance. We did have this nice little move above it where we really grabbed some of that liquidity from back here before we came back into our support and resistance area. Let's see if we got any other. Can anybody please check if they have liked the stream already? Oh, I didn't like the stream. Let me hit that like button for you, Jesse. All right, we had Sato and Pump last. I have a glove box full of warnings. Good thing they're lenient, says K Diggity. What are y'all degens talking about there? Let's see. Crap, like the police busted me again. Fixed. Oh, says K Diggity. Y'all having too much fun this morning. Let's see. Sato. Crypto. I'm gonna go with this one since I've never seen this one before, and that's most likely the one you were talking about. Let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at this daily here. Ooh, making our first higher low on our higher term time frame. Let's get a Fibonacci pulled up here. That's a crazy chart. Let's see if we can turn this back into a up move towards the upside. We've got us sitting below the 236 here, looking like we're trying to make that move back up. We've got a little bit of some resistance that we're bumping up against right now. Was the lows from back here. We're struggling with that just a little bit, trying to get that bouncing action off of it. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn up there, and horizontal ray drawn for the top side where we see the most touches. Gonna be that 0.065290. So if we can get back into this little area here, I would look for a little bit of some bouncing action off of that. We are seeing that MACD and prime oscillator looking a little bit toppy here on the daily, but we'll kind of have to zoom this in, see where our money flow is sitting. 4 hour looking like there's a little bit of a bearish divergence, but you're getting that nice solid bouncing action off of that area we were looking at. 0.03736. That's what I'd like to see hold up before we really see that get that move back up to 0.06529. I'm not sure exactly what this project is, but I see Crypto Billy saying it looks like a rug chart, bro. Be careful. I'd kind of have to agree. There's so many projects out there, and maybe someone really saw that sell-off action, taking all their profits, and then just making that first higher low. So that was that macro higher low we saw on the daily. Really waiting to see if we can get that continuation on. But volume has been extremely muted. So you do with that what you will. It does look very scam wiki with the movements, so that would concern me just a little bit. We do have the 15-minute and the morning looking like you could see a little bit of some continuation towards the upside, but your volume's starting to slow down just a little bit as that MACD is breaking above our indicator line. You can kind of see those scam wiki candles making that move towards the upside. Scam wick, scam wick, scam wick. So you do with that what you will, but we are seeing a little bit of some toppy signals here for the morning. Maybe get that push back to 0.03736 before we can really cool off some of those oscillators and get that push back up. That was a Sato for you. Let's take a look at some pump. We got about 5 minutes left before we head over towards that morning motivational video. Is it Pump USD? I hope so. Pump.fun. I'm guessing. So we'll take a look at that on Coinbase. Maybe not. We'll take a look at it. Pump. And see what we got on Binance. See if it's got a longer history there. Looking like a little bit longer history. Making our higher lows for once and some higher highs as well. So let's get a fib pulled from these highs back here to our low from over here. Looking like that 236 is a little bit of a resistance area that we're struggling to get above for now. You've got your 15-minute looking a little bit toppy, but let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at that 4 hour there. 4 hour not giving us too much information. Pump.fun. Yeah, I use Coinbase. I'm just going with Binance because it has a little longer history, so we'll just kind of have to see. They've got very similar flow patterns when it comes to money flow coming on in or coming on out because they're so big. So if we can get above this 236, which is 0.04516, I would look at least that 50% line where we started seeing price holding on up for the upside, and then where we saw that very strong resistance off of it. So if we can get above the 236, that next target for the upside I would really look for is going to be 0.06337. So looking at some positive green money flow coming on in as that prime oscillator and MACD are both getting some curvature back towards the upside here. So might see a little bit of some hopium heading our way on a shorter term time frame. We are getting that MACD and prime oscillator trying to break above our zero line here and here as well. Your money flow trying to break back into the green as well. Your volume's extremely muted, so I would kind of wait to see if we can get some volume coming in above that 236 to really get us that push back up towards our 50% line on the fib retracement there. That's kind of what I'd look for on the shorter term time frame. With your volume being so low and your money flow slightly in the red, we are just waiting for that switch. You've got your volume starting to pick back up here on the 15-minute, but looking like that 236 is our short-term resistance area for now. You are making some higher lows on the macro, making some higher highs as well. So waiting to see if this gets us that pushback above our 236 and allows us to turn the 236 into some support. You do have that money flow trying to break back into the positive as you're getting that increase of volume as well. You've got several reversal signals that have flashed, but looking like you might have those completely ignored if you can have some money flow and all those degens coming on in to really start buying things up. Calling it the new fart coin. I'm trying to determine if I believe it. Well, Pump.Fun is closed down in the UK and a few other European countries as well. They've been trying to shut it down in the US, but I don't think that one's happening. So I would wait for a little bit of some degen money flow to come on in, see if I can get that push back above our 236, see a little bit of a move above the 382, and try to make our way back up to the 50% line. That's kind of what I'd watch for on the macro. Short-term time frame, gonna be kind of hard to call some of those price points. We do have very strong resistance directly above the 236 that we would also need to get above at 004723. So kind of a few price points to watch for on the upside. Gonna be that 236, 004516, and then 004723. We've got a little bit of a resistance area directly above us. Do need to see these oscillators cool off just a little bit more on the 15-minute and the hourly here. See us move a little bit sideways to get that stronger pushback in as that 15 minutes trying to cool off and your money flows in the red on the hourly. All right, it is 5:29, about time to end the show, and we've got 20 people viewing on X. I appreciate every single one of you. Hope you've had a great morning so far. We got Curtis Hill sliding in at the very end of the show. Hope you're having a great morning so far as well. Don't forget to tune in to the rest of the shows here on the Piper Academy. We've got that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Great place to hear that breakdown of the data. That first thing I'm sure Piper is going to talk about is going to be the Powell speech tomorrow morning. We also have Trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Great place to hang out a little bit later at night. We also have Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. For all you super late night folk, I'm in bed by then, but I hear it's a lot of fun. I get to rewatch it every once in a while, but normally I'm getting prepared in the morning, so I hear it's a great place to do some learning, and that man is a master at the waves, if you like that Elliott wave theory. I will see y'all at the next one, and we'll kind of have to see if we can find a little trade to take tomorrow as a community. I was a little bit busy this morning, didn't get that all pulled up for you, but make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day.